which seems right unto a man, but in the end it leads to death. This biblical proverb tells me that sometimes our assumptions can be dead wrong. Now, often, if you make a false assumption, it's probably not going to lead to death, but I would like to tell you guys a story about how a group of people's false assumption did lead to some humorous pain. As a young person, I loved to paintball. And for those of you who are not familiar, paintballing is a sport in which you welt your friends with tiny little paint-filled burstable balls that are fired with compressed air from a gun. On one particular day, I was at a professional course up by San Diego. And it was a capture the flag course, very woodsy, jungly, lots of dried out ravines and bunkers. So our two teams stood polarized at the beginning of the field, each wearing our neon orange and neon green bands to signify which team we were. The ref gave the other team a few minutes to file off to their side of the field while we waited at ours, and then he blew the whistle for the game to begin. Now typically on this type of a course, what would happen is the two teams kind of slowly encroach on each other, moving from bunker to bunker, trying not to leave themselves too vulnerable. I decided to take an opposite strategy and bolt as fast as I could down the west side of the field, hoping to flank someone. So when the whistle blew, I bolted. And sure enough, I came up on some of who I thought was the other team members, 3 of them, with their backs turned, just kind of moseying up towards their side of the field. So I got close enough where I thought I could maybe hit them and started firing. Pow, 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 pow. Paint was spraying through the trees. Unfortunately, I wasn't really hitting anyone, but then I heard someone yell, "Stop shooting, you idiot." I'm thinking, someone's mask off? What happened? "You idiot, we're on the same team." So my face immediately starts turning red under my mask when one of them kind of moves through the trees a little bit and I see his armband, and indeed it is the opposite team. So I yell back, "My bad, teamie." They start their hike back up, and I follow right behind in plain sight because, of course, we're on the same team. And, of course, I got my arm back like this so they can't quite see my armband. So I follow these 3 guys all the way back to their side of the field where they found the spot where they were going to perch and wait for people to go by and shoot them or whatever they were going to do. And I went up a little bit higher around to another tree where I had them in plain view, 20 feet away, and just kind of the same before, just opened fire on their backs. Except this time, not one of my paintballs missed their marks. So after they were sufficiently painted, and they turned around and saw me again, you can imagine how furious they were, ripped off their masks, started spouting the same rhetoric about how I was such an idiot shooting my own team. They came right up to me when I turned and revealed my true colors with great pleasure, and to their great frustration. I thought it would make them feel a little better that we were on different teams, but for some reason they were actually a little bit madder. So they were out. They left the field, and I was delighted. So, next time you have a thought that comes to you in the form of an assumption, don't assume that it's correct, because it probably won't lead to death, but as we saw in this story, it may certainly lead to at least some embarrassing pain. Thank you.